All right, y'all. We are here for episode 14 of the challenge. We getting somewhere. We almost done. But if you're new here, hit subscribe, thumbs up the video, get in the comments, subscribe if you're new, share the video, hype the video. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the drill. Contribute to the channel. If you watch, you're a viewer and have not subscribed, do that. Do that. It's free. But yeah, we're gonna get into this episode. Yeah, it was an episode. It was an episode. We'll get to it. All right, so we get back where we left off, which is Theo and Adrian. 3 elimination wins. They're feeling good, obviously. Theo's talking about like running a final with good players is not necessarily the best thing, as he would know, because the last final he ran. Yeah, I think that's the last final he ran. He ran it against Turbo and lost. But at this point, he's like, if you're running with good players, you're pretty much playing for second, third, and fourth. But he's pretty much wanting, and this is his theme throughout the episode, to get people to realize you need to get Theo, you need to get Turbo and Sydney out, which is true. Like, if you really want to win the game, they probably are people that you do want to get out. Not a fan of Theo, but his mindset in getting them out definitely makes sense. But their alliance know that they have to win out in these dailies because they have to offset the numbers, because it's only 3 teams of theirs versus the rest of the house, which is 5. So they're outnumbered 5-3. So they know also, as long as they're not losing and going straight into the elimination and then winning per se, they have the votes to possibly end up getting it to go their way, but we'll get to it. But Will and Nany, they still cupcaking and whatnot. We ain't really gonna talk too much about that. But Aviv and Nany, they are pretty much talking about how it just sucks that Leroy is gone, but he's going home to a good family, which, like we've all stated, Cam needs to come back next season. We don't need to see Leroy anymore. Stay at home with them kids. Let Cam get the money, because you're not gonna do it. She will. But Nany's talking about how, like, we still have the numbers on our side. Like, she has the numbers with Aviv, Ashley, Michaela, Turbo. They have those numbers that can offset that other team. But they state that they really have to do what they can to protect each other to make sure that they still have the numbers, which is true. But Aviv is like, at this point, I don't think that me and Yeremi are at risk, but she also knows it's a strong possibility that it's coming soon. But they start talking about how knowing with one from their side winning and losing, the same situation that I just talked about with Theo and his side, they know that they have to at least be in a position where they still can vote. And as long as one of their team members is not in the elimination and the other one is winning, they could possibly still have the votes to outnumber them. But Sydney and Turbo, she's stating that she's feeling deflated because of that last performance that they had where they did not perform well at all, but she knows they can't do it again. But we didn't see Leo and Jake. They're talking, and Leo's pretty much saying like he gonna rock with his alliance. Like, the alliance that he's been loyal to, he's gonna rock with them because they've been loyal to him. Like, the other side is wishy-washy, which is true. But he tells us that Jake being with the other alliance is also a good thing for him, but he knows that essentially he's the one person in this game that he can trust. And it is a good thing for him when you sit and think about it. It's good for both of them, honestly. Having somebody that's on an opposing alliance, they could actually work for you. And that just really depends on how much they really want to work for you. But if they really want to work for you, they can vouch for you to make sure that you're not targeted as long as it can go. But Jake pretty much asked Leo, are you going to vote Theo in again? Or are you going to finally make a decision to finally make a game time move and get Turbo out? I mean, he got a lot. His logic is sensible when it comes to competition. But again, it serves Leo no purpose because he's on a side where he benefits with having those numbers, which Theo is one, not Theo, Turbo is one of those numbers. Jake, I see why he's trying to do that, because he's trying to make sure that he gets the numbers on his side, but it doesn't make any sense for Leo, and Leo doesn't give an answer. But we get to the daily challenge. It's called Run Race, Run or Rune, R-U-N-E. I forgot how it was pronounced. But they're tethered to their partner, and they have to solve an equation. So basically, they have to run to these runes, and they have to memorize one that's on one side of the runway. Then they have to run to the other side with the key. Once they solve the equation, they have to get a code, which they then have to go run out in this lake that is ice cold, and they have to unlock the cage to get their puzzle pieces out that are 6 feet under the water. And once they get those pieces, bring them back, solve it, and the first team that wins, and then the loser goes in. So they begin. Will and Olivia, they still not working well together at all. Justin and Nany and Michaela and Cedric, they're killing it. They're killing it. Those two were top 2 at this point. Turbo and Sydney, they got in the water, so they were like 3rd at this point, but they did not unlock their cage. They had the wrong code. But Michaela and Cedric win. Michaela is tearing. Michaela is tearing through on these dailies. Cedric is getting his wins too with Michaela. So that's my team. You already know it. That's my team unapologetically. I want them to win. Justin and Nany, they got second. Theo and Adrian came up for third. Sydney and Turbo came up for fourth. Yeremi and Aviv were fifth. Ashley and Leo were struggling in that water because it was cold. Both of them were cold. Ashley was crashing out. But Anissa and Jake finished sixth. Olivia and Will were left against Leo and Ashley, but they ended up finishing and getting it done. Leo and Ashley are in the elimination. And you remember what I stated earlier? Michaela and Cedric, they won. Leo and Ashley are in the elimination. Both of those teams cannot vote. It's a 3-3. You got that side versus this side. It could go anyway. But let's see. And like I just stated, Theo's happy about it because he knows, okay, well, we might have a chance to make sure that none of us end up in there. There's a possibility. But Nany, she's locked in on Theo and Adrian. She wants them to go in. She's like, we already done voted them in 3 times. Why change it? Like, literally, why change it? But back at the house, Nany's trying to get Ashley's mind right because she knows she's already going in the elimination. And Ashley's like, I mean, I showed my loyalty. Like, coming here, I did what I wanted to do, which was show a different side of herself that people don't normally get to see. And I do believe that we have seen that. Yes, she had that moment with Anissa, but other than that, we got to see Ashley, like, being fun. Like, normally when she gets drunk, she be acting a fool and stating a lot of offensive shit. But Ashley was, you could tell she's matured. Like, and when I say mature, take it with a grain of salt, because she's still Ashley, she's still Smashly, but she's still gonna crash out. She's still gonna say certain shit that might not be liked and might not be the most nice thing to state. But she did show layers this season, and I did appreciate getting to see that. But Anissa obviously wants her gone. Like, why would she want her there? And she says, I feel like it would be karma if she does go home because she still hasn't apologized. She's not gonna apologize because she's not sorry. Like, Anissa wants an apology from Ashley, but if she doesn't feel sorry about it, why would you want it? Like, I wouldn't want no apology if you don't really mean it. But Sydney and Turbo, they're talking, and he was like, Sydney needs to learn to shut up. Like, she talks too much, and she talks too much because she's very arrogant. But he's like, people are always listening. Like, the challengers are listening. When you sitting around talking shit, they gonna possibly want to throw us in. But she claims she's not gonna speak no more, but we'll see how long that lasts. But they go out to the bar. And Leo's talking to Olivia, Theo, Jake, and Adrian about him going into the elimination. And he ain't going to stop regardless. Basically, he knows he's going in. He's not scared. And he's going to get in there and fight. Like, Leo is not scared to do what he needs to do. Olivia ends up asking him how or who he would want to go in against because she wants to help out Jake, which would then in turn help out Leo. But Leo's not tripping. He said, I ain't tripping. Like, I don't care who it is. And he's not giving her an answer. And I feel like that was strategic because he knows he can't trust Olivia. Like, even though she's sitting there trying to, that whole side is trying to pull him in as a number to get the numbers on their side to kind of switch back over there, which, I mean, I get it. But Leo's not stupid. Like, why would he trust them knowing that if y'all do go work with them, you're going to be at the bottom? Whereas over on that other side, Leo and Ashley are not at the bottom. If you ask me, I feel like the bottom of that side is Turbo and Sydney. So y'all would be fourth over there, whereas you're maybe third or second on the other side, or maybe first, who knows. But Ashley is like, Leo's smarter than people think, and he is. He's not that stupid. But Yeremi and Aviv, they're talking about the possibility of Sydney and Turbo being shot at the nominations. Basically, like, they're probably going to go in. They're a number for us, but as long as it's not us, we don't really care. And that's a good thing, like, at that point. But Cedric feels like everybody's trying to manipulate each other, which it is. Like, he's like, the newbies are trying to manipulate the vets. The vets are trying to do the same with them. Yet Turbo's sitting over here chilling. Like, he's over there ready to take heads off, and I'm scared of him. But Yeremi and Adrian, she swears she know what she doing. Like, she calls herself talking to Yeremi and Aviv, trying to strong arm them into voting her way. She talking about it'll be between our teams, like her and Theo versus Adrian, Aviv, and Yeremi for the vote. And she's like trying to subtly get them to vote Sydney and Turbo and get them to pretty much get them out, and then telling them that their side will protect them. Why would they go want to be a number 4? I don't get that strategy. Like, that strategy makes no sense. But Yeremi's like, I mean, I would be at the bottom of their list, and then I would get attacked by my actual side that I'm working with. So it's not a benefit to me. Say Turbo and Sydney win and come back, and I dick them over. They're going to come back and come for me. Like, it makes no sense. And then not only that, if y'all had the opportunity to vote somebody from y'all side, you gonna vote in me and Aviv, so it makes no sense. Like, Adrian thought she was doing some shit and she wasn't. And she's telling him that he's already at the bottom of their list. And I'm like, and he was like, so you think? Like, that's what you think? And he was like, he thinks it's a stupid move because it is a stupid move. And then she's trying it with Aviv too, and Aviv clocked it too. She ain't fucking with it. And she's like, now I'm more motivated to throw in Theo and Adrian now, because who the fuck you think you playing? But the next day we got Turbo, who is not feeling good. Like, he's sick now because of that cold challenge. He probably got hypothermia. But Sydney's worried that this is going to put a target on their back. Like, she already knows their name is possibly going to be thrown out. And then to see a weakened Turbo, like, duh, like, let's get him out while we can. But Aviv is trying to talk her out of it. And she's stating, like, as long as Theo and Adrian are here in this house and we got the numbers, they're going to go in every time. Like, you ain't got to worry about it because we're going to be able to outvote them. But they start talking about the desperate pitch that Adrian made, basically threatening them. But Theo, Adrian, and Jake, they're in the kitchen, and Theo ends up stating, like, either we tie it up with Yeremi and Aviv, or Turbo and Sydney, or we try and flip Nany to save Turbo and put in Aviv and Yeremi. It's like a threatening tactic that he's trying to do with Nany, which you know that ain't going to go over well with her. They're eating it up. Sydney comes in, and Theo's like, I mean, despite what happened with me and Turbo, I mean, I got your back. She's like, ain't no way you got my back. And he's like, I mean, there is a way. And he's like trying to nudge her into it. She's like, And she's like, am I allowed to know what it is? And he's like, I mean, you can't, but you'll see. And she's like, and you can tell she like perked up a little bit, like, oh shit, so I might be all right. But Aviv and Anissa, they're talking, and Aviv ends up telling her that she wants to tell her what Adrian had said last night to her. And she pretty much told her, like, Adrian wants me and Yeremi to flip to vote in Sydney and Turbo, and I can't do that. And Anissa's like, yeah, essentially it's like a Hail Mary for them at that point. And Aviva's like, I mean, it's more to it, though. It's more to it than what she stated, because she basically was stating it like it was on behalf of y'all as a group. And in order for that to actually happen, y'all all would have to be on the same page and vote the same way she is. And we know that you're going to be voting in Turbo and Sydney, right? And Aviva's like, I mean, if they say my name, you're not going to vote me in, right? Anissa takes this big ass gulp. Her body language, she was looking down. I was like, oh. So I can see this foreshadow. This is probably going to be some foreshadow going forward. And we'll probably see it in a couple of weeks. But Aviv then states that they don't have the numbers at this point. Like, that makes no sense. And Aviv is now catching on to it being a plan. And she's now watching Anissa and how she's reacting. Because Anissa says that she thinks that they're trying to see if people can show their cards. And Aviv is now realizing Anissa probably is in on it. And she is. Like, come on. Come on. But we get to the nominations. And TJ asks if anybody wants to stake a claim. Nobody does. But before he starts trying to vote, because he's like, let's get to the votes, Theo stands up and says, before we start voting, he says that he knows people think it's probably going to be a tiebreaker between me and Turbo. But there's a second option. If it was the other way around, Turbo wouldn't put in Nany, and he wouldn't put Nany's game at risk, basically stating, like, if it was the other way around, if it was me versus Nany, Turbo would try and do anything to not make sure that it's a tie vote, to make sure that Nany is safe. So he's trying to use that on Nany. And he's like, I mean, if you don't choose between us, I mean, you can state Yeremi and Aviv, and you'll be saving Turbo. Easy to state that, but, like, that would be burning another bridge. And then not only that, she still got her other alliance. Like, yes, she would burn Yeremi and Aviv and say they go home. She still got to come back, and she still got people that no longer trust her because she went against her alliance. Like, I see what Theo's trying to do, but it makes no sense for Nany. But Nany says, that's fucked up, Theo, because she's thinking what I'm thinking. Like, I'm not turning to my friends right now when they literally have my back. But he was like, I mean, you could save your number one. Turbo says, don't say it like that. Like, I would never vote in my friends either. But Nany tells Theo to sit down. And Turbo says, let's give you another option. Let's put in your friends, Anissa and Jake. I said, and he was like, we'll help you out then. And Nany's like, yeah. How would you want that? Like, is that what you want? And he was like, no. And Michaela's sitting over there laughing. But Theo then says that he don't care about going in. He's like, I don't care about going in. So if you don't care, then what you doing? Just go in then. But Nany says, I mean, if you didn't, you wouldn't be trying to pin me against my friends. And she was like, I don't care about going in. So if you don't care, then what you doing? Just go in then. But Nany says, I mean, if you don't care about going in, so if you don't care, then what you doing? Just go in then. But Nany says, I mean, if you didn't, you wouldn't be trying to pin me against my friends. And she was like, at this point, we could throw in anybody. We could throw in Anissa, but we could throw in your girl too. You want that? I said, get him. Shut his ass up. And she did. But Turbo says, I mean, Nany stand up and vote for Theo, and she got her ass up and did it because Nany was ready for it. Nany without you see how good Nany is without Casey. She dropped that furniture and got back to the Nany that gives us the energy and good TV that we've been seeing from her for decades. Is it decades now? It's almost decades. When did Vegas premiere? I think 2011, 2010. So yeah, it's been about 15 years. But Turbo says that Theo and Adrian, they voted in for Turbo and Sydney. Turbo and Sydney voted in for Theo and Adrian. Yeremi and Aviv do as well. Jake and Anissa, Olivia, and Will vote in Turbo and Sydney. So it's a tie like we expected. TJ then has them flip a coin because he asked if they wanted to change their votes. Nobody wanted to change it. So I respect it. I respect it. So they flipped the coin and the coin landed on Sydney and Turbo. I said, oh shit. Theo got what he wanted out of it. I mean, luck was on his side this time. But Theo's alliance, they happy because they got exactly what they wanted. Nany comes in and tells Ashley and Leo, like, Theo literally did this shit. It came down to a coin toss. He wanted me to flip on my alliance. And Ashley's like, I mean, it is what it is at this point. Ashley and Leo, they ready. Like, their mindset is ready regardless who it is. They got to do what they got to do. But Nany, she goes in there and pulls Theo as he's in there celebrating with his side. And she's like, what the fuck? Like, why are you trying to turn me against my people? And he's like, I mean, I'm not trying to do that, but like, that was your chance to kind of save Turbo. And she was like, I mean, that's fucked up. And he was like, I mean, that's the game. It is the game. But he then says, like, that's the position that we've been in all season. Whose fault is that? Y'all have not been in that position all season, though. At the beginning of the season, y'all had numbers, but y'all just aligned with people that just couldn't pull their weight. Y'all got people now that can, but y'all are outnumbered. Like, y'all would have been doing this to them if y'all had people that actually could win like they are. But Nany then states that, why didn't we say Jake and Anissa then? Why didn't we say Olivia? I mean, if that's what you wanted, those were other options. We could have did that. But Theo then states that he was prepared to go in regardless and wasn't switching to throw his people under the bus. So why would she do it? Like, I mean, it's like, he's like, I'm not going to do it, but you should. Why should she do it? But he then states that Turbo burned his bridge with him for Nany. And Nany's like, don't put this shit on me. Like, that you did that shit yourself. You burnt that bridge with Turbo. But Nany's crying now about how fucked up it is because she don't want to look like a bad person. She don't want to look like a bad friend. And Theo was like, I mean, it's not about helping you per se. Because she was like, y'all ain't helped me all season. Why would I do that? And he's like, it's not about helping you, truthfully. I mean, it was you helping him. But I mean, I didn't mean to make you cry. But Nany, she goes to Turbo. She's still crying to him, apologizing. And he's like, it's not your fault. Like, he just a son of a bitch. Like, he got a small brain. But he tells her not to feel bad. She still feels bad. But we get to the elimination. And it's called Wake Me Up. This one was good. I actually like this one. The last couple eliminations, not good at all. But this one I actually like. So there was a giant structure in the middle of the arena. So one partner will go race outside of the arena to go bring back 35 cannonballs. And they heavy, weighted. So and they got to bring them back one at a time. So it's endurance and strength at the same time. So they have to place them on this paddle wheel that will then lift up their partner. So each time you do it, it's going to lift your partner up one. And there's puzzle pieces up there. So the girls, because the girls are the ones being lifted, they have to grab all the puzzle pieces. And then once they get them all, the runner, which is the boys, they have to come back and place the final ball, which will then bring the girls down. And it'll release one of them. It'll release the one in the, I don't know. I just said what I just said. But they then will have to solve the puzzle once they're all down with the puzzles, with the pieces. And the first to finish will win the elimination. So they begin, and they both were shocked. Leo and Turbo, they were shocked how heavy them balls were. So it sounds like them balls was heavy, but Leo was up by one. Like, Leo was in there thugging it through. And I'm like, would it still be the same if Turbo was at full strength? But Leo's no slouch. Leo gets it done. But Ashley is up there because he's got her one up over Turbo with Sydney. But Ashley's up there analyzing the puzzle as he's doing it, which was smart. But Leo's doing really, really good. He ends up dropping that final ball, which then gets Ashley down. Turbo goes running to get his final ball. And Leo's too tired to help with the puzzle. He done went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. His brain ain't really working right now. So Ashley's trying to do the puzzle herself. And she's like, at this point, I ain't really been performing to my standards. I haven't been impressing myself, so I want to do this. I'd have to prove it to myself. So she's down there working the puzzle. Turbo eventually gets Sydney down, and they're now both working the puzzle because Ashley's struggling to get it done. Leo's now trying to help her. But both teams are going back and forth calling for checks, and they all wrong. But what's noticeable, Sydney noticed it too. The majority of the rest of the challengers are up there cheering for Ashley and Leo, even Anissa. But Anissa was smart. Anissa knows Leo being here, regardless of what she feels for Ashley, is a benefit to her because Jake and Leo are like this. So that's why she's obviously rooting against Sydney and Turbo. But eventually, Turbo figures out that each side has to equal 11, and they eventually get it. And Ashley and Leo are eliminated. I'm sad about that. Those two I really enjoy watching on the show. Leo had a good first season. Like, Love Island Leo was getting on my nerves. He was getting on my nerves on Love Island, but he was good TV, though. I will tell you that. But he showed out really good here. This was a good showing for him. Ashley, two-time champion, Millionaire Mitchell, she always welcome back. She always gonna give us good TV. I'm sad about it, but Turbo was talking his shit to Theo, of course. And Sydney and Turbo, they expecting, like, if we don't win out every single time, we're going to be back down here. But Anissa is basking in Ashley going home. Ashley tells Aviv, Nany, and Michaela, y'all better be the final three. If y'all not the final three, I'm going to be pissed. But next week, that preview, Olivia, and it was crazy how she was talking about, like, her and Theo wanting to start a family, not knowing that she's pregnant. And then she in that damn car, and that car started flipping. I said, oh, my God. Not with the baby. Did she have her baby yet? I think she's still pregnant. So hopefully everything still goes well with that. But I'm like, damn, that was scary. And it's crazy too, because they don't even know that she's carrying a baby at this point. But if y'all got this far, give me that. Get in the comments down below. Subscribe if you're new. Hype the video. Do that when you get in the comments. And yeah, I'll see y'all next week. We are moving to episode 15. We getting there. But I'm going to bed. Peace.